Hello guys, good evening and welcome back. Alright, so in today's video, I want to give us a thorough guide on how to take the measurement of a lady, that's a female measurement. Now, this will be the updated version of the previous video I made on this channel on how to take an appropriate female measurement, right? So today I'll be making this measurement. I'll be taking the measurement with my lovely wife. So she will be the model for today. So before I bring her on camera, let us learn the basic areas of measurement because I do get some questions from some of my subscribers on this channel on how to take an appropriate female measurement. And then before we proceed, I would like you to know that some of the areas that we measure fitted for a typical female outfit will not be the same when you are making something pertaining to a male. For example, female shirts. Female shirts, even as in as much as it's for female, but then it was a borrowed outfit from the men. So now the shirts should not be too fitted, just the way you tighten your tape on the normal female clothes that will have the zip at the back or at the center or at the side, depending on where the zip will appear, right? So now the same thing applies to the trouser as well. Now, the hip of a lady, when you are taking a zipped measurement for a cloth that has a zip at the back, that's a gown, right? Anything that has a zip at the back, that's a gown. Then the fitted nature of the measurement will not be the same when you are making a trouser, a female trouser that the same lady is putting on. Now, there should be a little increment on those areas of the trouser, the shirts, and some other areas, the short as well. Now, except when you are working with a very stretchy fabric, right? You can now reduce the measurement in order to allow the stretchy fabric to lap properly on the lady. So, without further ado, let's get down to the main areas of measurement. Now, number one we have here is the bust, right? Now, the bust is being spelled as B-U-S-T, right? Now, this measurement is the bust circumference, right? The bust circumference. So now, you can measure this in two or three different ways where you will tighten your tape. But before you take the measurement of that particular lady, you need to bear in mind the kind of clothes she is making. If she's making a free cloth like a shirt, like I'm putting on, it shouldn't be too tight because if it's too tight, the buttons will be pulling up at ease or at will. So you need to make sure that whenever you are taking a measurement for a lady, you take note of the type of dress she is making. So in this video, I think we are going to learn the both measurements for us to understand perfectly how these things can be done, right? Now, the next we have is the under bust. The under bust, right? Now, the next we have is the shape or what they call half length. Half length, right? The next we have will be the shoulder. Now, the fifth we have is the sleeve length. Sleeve length. Then we have number 6. We have round sleeve. Round sleeve. Now, number 7, we have the hips. Then number 8, you can now have blouse length. Blouse length. Now, in this blouse length, it can either be shirt length or blouse length or top length, depending on the dress you are making, right? So let us leave the blouse length as covering both the shirt length, the top length, and the real blouse length. Now, the next we are going to have here will be our waist. That if you're making for a skirt or a trouser or anything that has to end on the waist region, you need to measure the waist. Now, another thing you should also bear in mind is that if you're making a trouser for a lady, ladies do have two waist, either a regular waist or a high waist. So if your customer is requesting for a high waist trouser, for example, you don't need to measure the real waist again. You're only going to take the measurement on that half length, which is the shape or half length, right? So this is where you focus your measurement on. But if she's making a normal trouser or a normal skirt that will lap on the waist, you are going to measure the waist circumference as well. Now, having done that, now these are basically, okay, the neck for the shirt, the number 10, we have the neck, right? If you're making a shirt, then for the trouser area, you have the laps, you have the knee, you have the ankle, you have trouser length, you have trouser length, you have skirt length, you have gown length, and then you have full length. Now, in some cases, you do have shoulder circumference. Shoulder circumference, right? Shoulder circumference. Now, these areas I just listed on the board are the core areas you must know how to measure. So, in this video now, we are going to take our time to show you guys how to measure all of these things and explain to you the differences and the similarities which you might encounter in making yours as well. So now, like I said, before you proceed, you must make sure you have in mind the type of clothes your customer is making. So let's make welcome our model for today in the person of Mrs. Redefine. All right, let's come to the camera. Say hi to my fans. Hi. All right. So now, this is my client. Now, I want to take her measurements properly. So there should be an interaction between you and your customer. You ask her what she wants. Now, she will prescribe or she will describe the type of dress she's intending to make. Then you now know if it's going to be a pure fitted measurement that will not need to have any air or space at the sides, that the zip will help it to lap properly on the body, right? So if you have taken note of that, then you proceed. So my client here is trying to make a knee-level gown, a spaghetti hand that will have another jacket like a lace on top, which by God's grace, we are also going to show you guys how to draft such style. Now, she saw it online and she felt like doing it. She's also a designer. She makes basically male clothes because that is where she learns very well from me, of course, as well. All right, guys. So let's now take your measurement. Now, if you are taking a fitted measurement that we have or that will house the fitted outfit for the female, you are meant to measure around the circumference this way, right? The tape must pass underneath the armhole or armpit. You measure. It's advisable you stay sideways to take the reading. Now the tape will lap this way. If you are a man or a guy taking the measurement of a female, it's advisable you stay by the side to read the tape, right? Now, don't stay in front. It will inconvenience your client, right? So just stay beside. It is more professional this way. So her bust now, for a normal outfit that we have a zip at the back, is 44, right? 44 bust. Now, as you can see how firm this tape is. Now, this tape, it will not compress the skin, right? It should not compress the skin. It should lap firmly round the body, round the back area as well, right? This is how the tape should be. The tape should not be down or middle. It should be on the shoulder blade. This is how you take the reading for your bust measurement. So which we have here to be 44. So you can now take note of that on the board, 44 bust measurement. Now, if you are making a shirt, a regular two-piece shirt and a trouser the bust will no longer be 44. It should be at least 2 inches bigger than her real bust measurement, right? So, in as much as you might not really know how to extend the tape at the onset, you might just decide to take the reading of the fitted measurement while you increase your own to give you that freeness that you so desire, right? So now you measure for the free shirt in this form. The tape will be a bit off from the body. The tape will be able to glide freely here. So her bust for the shirt, I can take it to be 46, and it will be very much okay on her. So this is a major difference. When you are making a female outfit, you don't just use the same bust or the same measurement for every area, for every outfit. No, you decide on what to use on each particular um, point in time. So the next is the underbust. Now the underbust will be used here. The tape will go underneath the bust circumference this way, and then you take the reading. So her underbust is 36 for a fitted measurement. 36 underbust. Now bear in mind that if you're making a shirt for a female or a two-piece outfit, you don't need underbust for that particular outfit. You are meant to use only bust and the shape when you are making a two-piece for her, right? But because we are making a cloth that has a zip at the back, we are going to use underbust in the drafting. All right, so now the next is the shape or the half length. Now the shape is 2 inches above the navel. The shape is 2 inches above the navel. That is the shape of a woman. The shape is 2 inches above the navel, or 1 inch above the navel. So the shape we have here is a shape of 35 and half for a fitted outfit that will have a zip at the back. So I will just put it down, 35 and half, right? 35 and half for the shape. Now the next is the shoulder. Now, in taking a perfect shoulder measurement for a lady, whether two-piece, whether blouse, whether gown, anything shoulder, please don't stay in front this way. It's very wrong. You are meant to stay at the back this way. Now, there is what we call half shoulder. Half shoulder is from the center back to the edge of her hand this way. You can either measure from here, from the center back to this point. Whatever you get on that point, you now double it by 2. Or you can still measure from here all across to this very point, right? So whichever one you deem fit, you can take the reading that same way. So let's measure the both. So from here across to the neck area to here is 17. Her shoulder is 17. She tends to have a big broad shoulder than the regular 15 and a half, 16 inches shoulder most ladies do have. Now, you can still decide to take the reading from the center back this way. It still give you 8.5 times 2 is 17, right? So that is for the shoulder. I can still put it down to be 17 shoulder. Now, the next is sleeve length. Now, even though the style we are making does not need sleeve, I will just measure sleeve length. Okay, it needs sleeve as well, and show you guys how the sleeve is measured. Now, the moment you stop your shoulder measurement in any point, you are meant to start from that same point and push your tape backwards to take the reading of your sleeve length. Now the sleeve length can either come for short sleeve, three-quarter sleeve, or long sleeve, right? So whichever one you deem fit, you are meant to measure accordingly. So let's measure for the short sleeve to be somewhere here 8 inches or 9 inches, three-quarter sleeve somewhere here 16, and long sleeve somewhere here 23, right? So this is how to take the reading for your sleeve length. Now the next is your round sleeves. You measure this way. The hands will be folded this way, measure tight this way. You have it to be 14 and a half. Then if you are making use of a stretchy fabric, she might not need to coil her hands this way. You are meant to lap it firmly. Now the material will help the person to coil their hand when needed. Now after that, measure elbow as well. I have it to be 12.5 this way. Then fist, you measure here, round here to be 10 or 9.5 as the case may be. After that, the next you're gonna do now will be the hip measurement. Now, in taking the perfect measurement for a female hip, you are meant to, for a cloth that will have a zip at the back, the person is meant to close her legs this way, and you measure right round the circumference. But when you are making a female trouser, like what's it called, like combat trouser, boot cut trouser, any trouser that is not fitted or pants enough, the person is going to open her legs a bit in a balanced position. And then, like I said, if her hip, for example, is 40 for a normal cloth that will have a zip, you are not meant to use 40 for a female trouser of that same person. You are meant to add extra 3 to 4 inches extra for her hip measurement to very, very much okay on her. So let's take the two measurements for the hip. Now her legs will be closed, and then you measure right round the hip this way, right? Then bear in mind that the tape will be firmly gripped here at the most bulging parts of this side with the hip, and then at the back buttocks, right? The tape will go in that direction for you to get a perfect hip. Please, on no account should you make your hip measurement to go this way. It's very wrong. Now, no, to come this way is very wrong. The tape will touch the buttocks and also touch the hip position. I believe most of us know that here that has the bulge is the real hip, while the back is the buttock. So while taking the hip measurement, the tape must touch the buttocks this way and come to the hip. Then in most cases, you glide the tape to be sure that the tape can, enter freely, not too freely, but at least move to an extent. Then this is for the fitted measurement that will have a zip at the back. Then if you're making for a normal trouser, she will open her legs a bit, and then you measure this way. So let's check the two differences for the measurement. Okay, put on leg again. Let's check the first one. I did not take the reading for the first one. So the hip for here is 47. It's 47, right? Let's check the one for the trouser. Shift a bit. Now for the trouser, we're going to have it to be in a free outfit this way. The hip will be 50. You see how free it is, right? For a female trouser, extra 3 inches. So that's for that. Then, if you are taking the measurement for the lap, for the trouser as well, you must follow the same pattern for the lap measurement this way. You pass the tape in this form and take the reading this way, 28.5. Then take the knee as well, you measure, and then take the ankle as well. But in most cases, if you're making a two-piece, like a palazzo, the knee measurement will not be lapping in this form. You might use the lap measurement to apply on the knee point if you're making a palazzo, or you reduce 1 inch or 2 inches lower or smaller from the lap and use it to apply on the knee and on the ankle. And I think in our subsequent videos, we are going to create video on how to take how to draft a two-piece palazzo for a female. And then in that video, she'll be the one to handle the cutting and the whole explanations for you guys to watch. Then for that, I think the next is the gown length. Then you measure your gown length from the shoulder point to whatever you want the gown to be. So you take the reading of the gown length. Now, we have finished taking a basic measurement. If you're measuring the trouser length as well, you ask her if it's going to be a high waist or a normal waist. If it's going to be a high waist, you are going to measure from that position of the high waist and then stay on the side and measure all across this way. If you are making a skirt length, the same thing. After normal waist or high waist, whichever one she asks for, you measure accordingly. You ask her where she wants the skirt length to stop for a short knee length, quarter length, or a full length skirt length. Then after that, you take the reading for her gown length, either half short length knee level, quarter length, or a full length gown as well. Then in making a full length gown, you must make sure you ask your customer if she's going to put on high heel for the full length. If she says yes, if her full length is 60, for example, you are meant to add extra 2 inches extra for the high heel, because when she steps on the heels, the outfit is meant to stay covered to an extent of the high heel as well. Then after that, the next to do here is to measure her shoulder circumference. In this case, we are making an off shoulder. If you need the shoulder circumference, you simply measure round the shoulder this way, round the shoulder point this way. You measure next one in a fitted measurement. The tape will enter properly in order for you to achieve a perfect off shoulder measurement, right? So this is basically how to measure. Then the neck, if you are making the neck circumference, you have to pass the tape on the neck. For a normal female outfit, you measure the neck this way. Then I think I have exhausted all the points on the board. And then the next we are gonna do now will be to explain what they call shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to shape, and shoulder to hips. Now, the reason I want to do this now is because, I want to explain to us that after measuring the circumferences of all these areas, you are meant to get the length of them. So from her shoulder point, you have to place the tape from the highest point here and measure to the bust point, measure to the under bust point. Then you have to take the reading. For example, her shoulder to bust is 11.5. So you're meant to measure 11, you put a slash here, 11 and half. Her shoulder to under bust is from here, you also measure is 15. So you put a slash here, you measure, you write 15, right? Her shoulder to shape is a half length. You put a tape here, hold it there, and then you put your hand down. Her half length is 17 and a half. You also write 17.5. Her shoulder to hip is from here to the hip point where it's bulging is 32. You also take the reading 32. So now these measurements are very much important because the frame of every lady are not the same. So you need to note the frame. Some persons their frame here is longer than the down, whereas some of them they are not the same. In fact, you need to take the measurement of all of these areas I have outlined for you. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give a thumbs up, comment, ask your questions. We will be in the comment section to attend to your questions if there is any need. Do you have anything to say to my subscribers? All right. All right, guys. See you in our next video. Bye-bye for now.